Vi välkomnar upp först Rickard från Noizegate Music som har ställt upp här och gör intervjuer med våra artister. Välkommen, och du kan få säga någonting om Noizegate Music kanske innan du välkomnar fram din gäst.
Hej, Rickard heter jag och kommer från tidningen Noizegate Music som är Sveriges enda kristna musiktidning. Ni finner oss nere i den hörnan sen efter intervjun, och där kan ni teckna prenumerationer och få läsa den här intervjun i tryckt format i vårt nästa nummer också. Och Noizegate Music har funnits sedan 1998 och kommer ut med 4 nummer per år. Så nu välkomnar vi Michael Sweet med en stor applåd.
Hello.
Hello.
How are you guys?
Fine.
Good?
Yeah.
Awesome.
So this is your 3rd year here in Sweden in a row. You seem to like Sweden, and Sweden seems to like you.
We do. We love Sweden. Actually, prior to that, before the first of the 3 years we were here back in the 80s and early 90s. So, you know, we always enjoyed our time here and coming here, and always had an incredible time. So it's always, we look forward to coming back every time.
So how was it to play on Sweden Rock along with all those big rock stars last year?
It was a little nerve-wracking. It always is. Every show we do is so different. You know, we perform with many different bands, many different festivals, from death metal festivals to Christian festivals to everything in between. So that was a little nerve-wracking for me anyway, because the pressure was on. You know, it was plug and play, no sound check, go up there, and there were some incredible bands there. So we never look at it as competition, but you know, it still makes me a little nervous to play with such big bands, you know.
So how is it to play in front of unchristian crowds compared to Christian crowds?
It's nothing we really, you know, view as, we don't try to look at it and break it apart and think, okay, we're going to be playing to a non-Christian, we're going to be playing to a Christian crowd. We just go and perform. But sometimes, you know, we're put under a much larger microscope, and I don't want to say we feel judged, but I guess sometimes we kind of feel like people are there to observe versus enjoying the show. And when that's the case, it makes it a little bit more, you know, stressful. A little bit.
You have...
Can you guys understand me, everybody?
Yeah.
Awesome. I know everybody speaks English here better than Americans.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
You have always been bold in your lyrics and throwing out Bibles on stage and so on. What results of that have you seen in the unchristian crowds?
It's always great. I mean, whether it's due to the fact that people want the Bible, or want to catch a Bible because they want to read it and learn more about what's inside of it, or they just want it as a momentum or a souvenir, people just go crazy for them. You know, there's never any left, and that seems to be one of the highlights of the show. I don't know if we're throwing out Bibles tonight, though. So we are throwing out Bibles. Yes. So
Awesome.
it's one of the points in the show where, you know, people really want to get a Bible. It's very cool.
So what have the Bible meant for you personally?
Well, I mean, it's what we live by. You know, it's our bread, and you know, literally speaking, bread of life. And you know, I don't read it as much as I should. I know that. Many times when we're traveling, you know, I'll find that a week goes by that I didn't pick up the Bible, or 2 weeks, or what have you, or I didn't bring my Bible, you know, from home. And it's really important as a Christian, person of faith. It's really important to always have your Bible with you and to read it and to grow and learn, as you know. So anyway, and we don't mean anything sacrilegious by throwing them out. We get a lot of questions about that, like, how can you disrespect the Bible? We're not. We're just trying to get it into the hands of the people that are there.
So, how have your journey of faith been? When did you get saved, and have it been easy or a road of struggle?
I actually got saved when I was 12 years old, almost 13. We got saved through a televangelist by the name of Jimmy Swaggart. Does anybody know who Jimmy Swaggart is? Have you ever heard of Jimmy Swaggart? A few hands. And so you know eventually what happened with Jimmy Swaggart. But we got saved through Jimmy Swaggart Ministries and fell away from church, got into church for a while, then fell away. And I wound up as a young teenager playing the clubs of Hollywood, Sunset Strip, the Troubadour, Gazzari's, the Whiskey, all those infamous places, and kind of fallen away, not being interested in going to church anymore, and started drinking and smoking pot and cigarettes and, you know, all that stuff, all those traps that you fall into. And I kind of got all that, thank God, out of my system, you know, and at the age of 20, I realized I didn't want that anymore. So I rededicated my life. And ever since the age of 20 to now, I'm 21 now. So, you know, I've rededicated my life, and I've been living for God ever since, trying to.
At the time of Against the Law, it was rumors that you have fallen away. It was rumors that you have fallen.
Sounds like she's yelling over my shoulder.
Yeah. At the time for Against the Law, it was rumors that you have fallen away from the faith and so again. Can you tell about how it really was at that time?
Well, when you really get down to it, we basically did. I mean, we were still Stryper, obviously, and as individuals, we still loved God with all of our hearts, but we weren't really, our actions off stage weren't completely lining up with what we had stood for years. As an example, we would perform at a bar and tell people, you know, you don't need alcohol, you know, you can, if you're an alcoholic, you can let it go. And then after the show, we'd go to the bar, you know, and drink with them. So it was very, you know, hypocritical. And at least that's how I feel it was for myself. The other guys can speak for themselves. But I feel, though, it was an important time for us to make us who we are today. You know, we, for whatever reason, went through that and had to go through that to help us to get to where we are. So I wouldn't go back and change anything. We learned a lot from that period.
So, last year you released a cover album and received a little of the same critic from some Christians. How did you respond on people saying things like you're not Christian enough and so on?
Yeah. Well, I mean, we didn't receive that much many negative comments. I mean, surprisingly enough, we thought we would. We expected to, but it wasn't so bad. And, you know, when it comes down to it, I mean, you can't go back and change your history. You can't change your life. And that was a very important part of our lives, growing up on secular music. I mean, we didn't grow up on Petra and, you know, all the Christian bands at the time, Res Band, and, you know, whoever else was around during that time when we were growing up. So we didn't. We grew up on Van Halen and Judas Priest and Iron Maiden and all these bands. And those are the bands that we were listening to as teenagers and as musicians. And they shaped us and made us who we are musically to this day. So we wanted to show people, hey, this is where we come from musically. And that's really all it is. It's not anything that needs to be dissected and, oh my gosh, they're playing Judas Priest. As a matter of fact, tonight we're doing a Priest song. We're doing a few songs from the covering. But it's not the song that should influence you, you know? music is music. I mean, I think personally it's okay if you choose to listen to secular music. I mean, that's your decision. That's between you and God. You know, it's not for me to say, hey, you're wrong by doing that. So, some people have different views about it, you know, but we're free, as one of our songs says, we're free to do what we want to. And we feel freedom in performing some of the songs that we grew up on, and that influenced us. So, that's all.
Another thing some people have been critic about is that you have...
Can you guys hear him?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, good.
Some people have been critic about that you have doing so many cover songs lately. What is your response to that?
Again, everything I just said. We haven't seen the critics. We haven't heard the critics. We really haven't. We've done many festivals, Christian festivals. We've played these songs that everyone's like, haven't really got that many, you know, negative responses. We've got a few, but really not too many. I think had we done this back in the 80s, we would have, you know, gotten many. But I think people have grown a lot and they're more open-minded. And again, it's not, we don't endorse the artist and their lifestyles. You know, we just like the music. And that's what we grew up on. I can't sit here and tell you anything other than the fact that when we were painting those walls yellow and black back in 1981, 82, 83, we were cranking Iron Maiden and Judas Priest and, you know, in the garage. That's what we listened to. And learning the licks, and we can't change that. We can't rewrite history, you know.
So will we hear some new Stryper tunes soon?
Yes, absolutely. One thing I just want to add to that is we went down a different path, thank God. You know, we could have gone down that same path that all the other bands went down, but we chose a different path and decided to be a band that took a bold stand and made a bold stand for Christ. So thank God for that.
Amen.
And that's really all that matters, you know, in the end. And we're still doing it to this day. Believe it or not, we've been doing it for almost 30 years. It's kind of crazy. We got together in '83 and released our first record in '84. So this is 2012. So one more year and it's 30 years.
Woo!
And I don't look that old, do I?
No. 24.
What's that?
24.
I look 24?
Yeah.
Yeah. Come on, man. Maybe if you said 44, I'd say, yeah, okay, all right.
Well, 34 then.
Okay, 34.
Yeah.
I'll take that.
Yeah.
24. He looks 24. He's probably older than that, though.
I'm 33.
See? You look much younger.
So how is the plans for a new album with new music going?
Yes. We've been working on it for a long time, a re-record record. Reason why we're doing a re-record record is because we wanted to own the rights to the songs so we can do what we want with them for movies and commercials. Right now we can't do what we want because another company owns the original masters. So that's why we're doing that. We recorded 2 brand new songs, a song called Bleeding from Inside Out and another song called Blackened, and those will be included. There's a total of 16 songs. That will come out on Frontiers Records, hopefully, if the deal gets signed soon. And probably sometime early next year it'll come out. And then we start working on a brand new record in January or February of next year. And our goal is to make it a follow-up to Hell with the Devil. That same kind of flow and that same kind of vibe, you know. And that was our biggest record. And so we want to make another record that is as strong as that and as popular as that. Hopefully we can do it. I mean, it's easier said than done, but we're going to try.
What time schedule is it for that album?
Well, we'll start January or February recording it, and we'll spend about 16 years on it, maybe 17 years. And we'll spend about probably 6 months, 5 to 6 months, and then it'll come out. I'm guessing like late summer. probably August, September would probably be a really good time to release that record. And I think that's pretty realistic.
Yep.
I think it'll happen.
You're also doing a new solo album. Can you tell about that?
I am. I like to, do solo records because I have all different styles that I write. There's a particular style that I write for Stryper, and then there's other styles that I like to write and do on my own. And on this solo record, there's some real edgy stuff, and there's also some straight ahead rock radio kind of stuff, and then there's even a few songs that are kind of southern rock sounding, the steel guitar, and a really cool vibe. I'm really excited about it. So it's very diverse in the mixture of songs, and that's going to come out later this year. And then there's a book I'm working on too that is being kind of tweaked and rewritten right now. And that's coming out pretty much at the same time the record's coming out as well.
So what will the book talk about?
The book will talk about just my life and all the stories, good and bad, ups and downs, the things that I've experienced starting at a very early age in music, and just everything I've gone through from that time period to now. I've been through a lot of stuff for a guy my age, or at least I feel like I have, and grew up really fast. Lost my wife to cancer, and I'm remarried now, and just a lot of stuff that's incredibly heavy. And I'm 49 years old, and I feel like I've lived the life of a 69 or 79-year-old. But it's a lot of interesting things, and the purpose of the book is to hopefully, encourage people who maybe have gone through similar situations or the same to always focus on Christ, and to know that no matter what you go through, no matter how tough it gets, there is a God. He does love you, and He has the power and the strength to pull you out of it. So that's really important for me to get that across in the book, and that's what it's about pretty much. So.
It was a rumor that you will do a second cover album also. Is it any plans of that?
Yeah, I'm sure down the road that may happen, but there's no rush. The next important thing for us to do is to make a all original studio record. I think that's really a big deal for us, and it's got to be good, I don't want to have any B-sides on it. I want everything to be very strong and an A-side. So, we've got a lot of work to do. It's gonna be tricky and tough, and we appreciate everybody's prayer on that. And hopefully, it's a record that will encourage a lot of people and touch a lot of people.
So, what can we expect of the concert tonight? Will it be any changes from the last year's concerts, or?
Changes. I think it's a little different set list. We added a few old songs that we hadn't done in a while. We're adding a few covers, and just hopefully it's a really enjoyable experience for everybody, and just something that people are able to come to and have fun and be encouraged and leave with something that they didn't have when they walked in the doors before the show. That's always our hopes and prayers, and that's about it, pretty much. Oh, it's the original lineup too. Last time we were here, we were with a different bass player. This time it's with with Tim. We were with Tracy last time.
Yeah.
This time it's with Tim. So it's the original 4 guys,
Whoa.
which is really, really exciting for us, and a great thing to be able to say night after night. Very unique. Not a lot of bands who have been around as long as we have can say they have the original lineup.
Last time you didn't play any song from In God We Trust. Is it a reason behind that, or will we start to hear songs from that album also?
Yeah, it's a pretty simple reason. I can't sing it. No, it's Writings on the Wall. I know that's a popular one, man. People want to hear that. They want to hear songs from In God We Trust. Always There for You, In God We Trust. The reason why, and I'll give you my opinion. I'm very I'm the slave driver at rehearsal. I'm the guy that says, no, that song doesn't sound right, so we're going to lose it from the set. And whenever we rehearse those songs, they just never sound right. And I think it's because we overproduce the record. There's a lot more tracks going on, vocal harmonies, guitar parts, high vocals. It's a difficult record to pull off live. So I think that's usually the reason why we don't attempt those songs. But I do agree, in this lifetime, we need to add some of those songs to the set, you know? I think we should. Not tonight, though. We're not doing any. But we are doing a few songs that you may not have heard live.
So do you have any old memories from the big years from the 80s?
Oh, sure, yeah. We have lots of memories. I mean, we went all over the world, you know, at a very young ages, and it was a blur. Yet at the same time, it was, you know, something that we will never forget. So there's a lot of stories to tell, funny stories, scary stories, sad stories, you know, that we've experienced along the way. But we're so grateful and thankful to God daily for the fact that here we are, this band, in my opinion, that was just okay. You know, if you put us up against some of the other bands, I thought we were an okay band, but, you know, much better musicians than some other bands of our genre at that time. And God used this in such an incredibly powerful way and opened new doors that may never have been opened before. And, you know, maybe someday I'll be able to ask God why he chose us, because he could have chosen anybody. But for some reason, he chose this band and the four of us. And the rest is history. It's just amazing what's happened over the past 29 years with this band. And hopefully, you know, a lot more incredible things will happen and take place. And we're excited about seeing those and witnessing those.
As a Christian, have it been hard to handle the fame and the money that comes with popularity?
No, not really. I mean, I'm a very reclusive guy, so I go home from performing or touring, and I go home and I'm just a regular guy out putting out the trash and mowing the lawn and cleaning cat poop out of the cat box, you know? And I'm not the kind of guy that goes out and wants to be seen and hangs out at all the rock and roll shows around town and is always in the spotlight. I try to stay away from that and out of the spotlight pretty much. So, you know, I think that helps to balance me because of my at-home side or personality, you know? And then I have to get into a mental state when I travel of, okay, let's do this, and I'm a different person, you know? I'm more of a reclusive, shy kind of guy, and then I got to go out on stage and, you know, talk to people and keep them interested, or try to. And, you know, there's two Michael Sweets, I guess. Maybe that's a bad thing or a good thing. I have no idea. He's looking at me like maybe that's a weird thing. I don't know. But anyway.
So, how will you celebrate the 30 years anniversary? Will it be something special for it, or like a DVD or something?
I would think, since next year is the 30th year, I would think that this studio record would be a good way to celebrate that and really, you know, talk that up and share with people the fact that it's been 30 years. And then just hope for the best, hope and pray that it's a great record and that everybody here wants to hear it and wants to see us play it live again. You know, maybe we'll come back here again in the next year.
Yes.
You guys do this every year, right? Yeah, this is amazing. It's so cool. You guys all sleep right here? Right here in this little courtyard area?
Yeah, right here.
So, how long do you feel that Stryper will continue now?
Well, we're all getting older physically, obviously, but I think mentally and as far as our hearts go, we're all pretty young at heart and mind. So I could see us doing this for, you know, quite a while. I can't really see us doing it as long as the Rolling Stones. You know, those guys are, what are they pushing? They're in their 70s, right? Yeah. So I don't know, man. I can't see us up there at that age in yellow and black running around, but you know, maybe it'll happen. And I certainly see us doing this at least for another 10, 15, maybe 20 years. Sure.
Yes.
There's no plans to retire anytime soon. And you know, our goals and hopes and dreams are to continue on and just walk through those doors that God opens. And we're really hoping that some new doors open, and that we can try some new things, and I'm excited about that.
So is it anything more that haven't been mentioned so far that you want to tell the people here?
Oh gosh, well, I want to thank you guys for your interest in us and for having us here. You know, we really appreciate it. It means a lot for us to be able to continue on doing what we love to do, and you know, God's directing us and His hand is guiding us, and you know, but we certainly wouldn't be here if it wasn't for all of you, and we thank you. We love you for that. Tonight, we were going to do something really special for you guys, and we were all going to shave our heads on stage.
No way!
That would be pretty cool, right?
No way!
I think it'd be cool. But it would never happen.
Yes.
But I would be the first to do it, actually. If you could talk the other guys into it, I'll do it. But anyway, that's it. Just, you know, we're excited to be here again. We did not at all forget our experience here last time, especially in meeting all of you, wonderful people, and the food, man, was amazing. I'm looking forward to dinner tonight at 9 because it was really good. I remember that. But anyway, thanks for having us, you guys. It's great to be here.
Woohoo!
Thank you.